Welcome to the latest episode of Beatin' and Bangin'. I'm your host, Kyle Dalton. Today's episode is very different. It's a very painful episode. It's the episode I've been dreading for months, and those who followed my channel know why. So here goes. Let's start by going back to my last episode, which is almost a month ago on November 7th. If you'll recall, I talked about how well my mom was doing and how she shared with me in the excitement of the Texas Rangers winning their first ever World Series title. A few days after that video, I drove the hour to her house for a planned visit that was supposed to last 5 days. Unfortunately, it ended up lasting more than 2 weeks. I went out on November 9th, and like I said in the previous video, everything was going well. Mom had no real signs that the cancer was even there. Then, on November 12th, everything changed. Mom knew it, and I knew it. Over the course of the next 12 days, we appreciated every moment as much as we could. Unfortunately, those moments became more limited as we introduced more drugs into her body to keep her comfortable. She slept more. I'm not gonna lie, it was incredibly tough. It's painful watching anyone you love suffer, but when it's your mom, the one who took care of you as a child, and now you're tasked with taking care of her, it hurts more. It just does. Despite those challenges, my mom got to enjoy visits with those she loved most. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we called an audible and decorated the Christmas tree early. I'm glad we did. Mom was in familiar territory, sitting in a reclining chair, directing traffic like she had done for so many years before. It was her last burst of energy. She loved it. Everyone there loved it. It was such a beautiful moment, none of us will ever forget. Thanksgiving Day was a struggle. Despite that, she put on her best face and loved on those she loved most. She talked on the phone with a couple of her grandkids and her last living sister. She told them how much she loved them. They did the same. That night, after she lost her ability to walk, I lay at the foot of her bed while my brother slept in the nearby closet. We were sleeping in shifts. The next day, we all could tell the end was near. In the mid-afternoon, in a true blessing, she lay in her bed but was able to talk with 2 of my daughters and my wife in what were understandably emotional goodbyes. Shortly after they left, my brother and I both told her how much we loved her and it was okay for her to go. Around 5:15, with both of us by her side and holding her hands, she took her final breath. While it was undoubtedly the most painful Thanksgiving I'll ever experience, the name of that holiday reminded me of just how thankful I truly am to have called her mom for all these years. She was a blessing to so many, a true lover of life and sharing that love with others. Unfortunately, there's also the business of death. All of last week, I was committed to organizing photos for her service, writing her obituary, and her eulogy. I finished my lengthy eulogy on Thursday. The same day, I was informed by my employer of the last almost 4 years that I was out of a job. Now, this isn't a sob story. That could have happened any time in the last 6 months. It just so happened to happen within a week of my mom's death. Unfortunate timing for sure, but as I've said 1,000 times to my family and anyone else, it's all just a part of life. The roller coaster of a ride continued on Saturday as my brother and the rest of my family all celebrated the Texas Longhorns winning the Big 12 title. My mom, as you'll recall, watched every game this season, including the big Alabama win. I was there for all of them except one. No doubt, she and my father were jubilantly celebrating together as their horns won the championship. Lastly, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been so kind to me on this channel over the last few months. I've read every single compassionate comment. I showed many of them to my mom. We're all so grateful for the love from this community. That's what makes doing these videos all worth it. I said in the last video how I expected to put out a video a week in the off season. Obviously, that didn't happen. However, after her service next week, which I'm going to be focusing on, I'll resume my planned schedule of videos. Thanks again, everyone, for your love and support during this incredibly difficult time. On behalf of my mom and my entire family, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And one final word, I love you, Mom. Thanks for everything.